Well, the mainstream media loudly denouncing President Trump's immigration order and falsely labeling it as a Muslim ban. Dr. Qanta Ahmed is a physician and author of In the Land of the Invisible Women, and she joins us now. She's also a Muslim woman who supports extreme vetting and says that she's not the only Muslim who does. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Heather.
So first of all, let's begin with that. Why do you support extreme vetting, and you have personal experience in this?
Worth saying is we have great confidence in our U.S. immigration services. They vet intensely. I've had 5 different immigration statuses. I was HIV tested, gender verified, lots of background checks. They already do that. There is no harm in enhancing that, and I would like to see vetting of ideology when migrants or refugees are coming in, and I don't know that we really have a grip on that.
How would you do that, though?
I think it's by asking people about the background and foundation of radical Islam, about some of the most well-known groups, whether they've had associations. In Lebanon, the education minister himself has remarked a small percentage, 2% of people in refugee camps in Syria, Lebanon, Turkey, Jordan, have sympathies with ISIS after they've been displaced from their homes by these forces. So we must look into that. But there's no harm, and also in the Muslim world, Dubai's security chief has welcomed this move. Saudi Arabia welcomes this move. The countries that we're eliminating from immigration for a temporary moment are also banned from migrating to much of the Muslim world for the same reasons.
But Syria specifically there's like this indefinite move with Syria.
So Syrian refugees, I think, should be given the first priority. They're in most distress, and for that there's no harm in looking at more intense scrutiny in every way. We already do. Their identities are known to authorities. International Rescue Committee looks at their vetting very closely and helps other agencies. A great group here in the United States, the International Refugee Assistance Program, can also advise the Trump administration. But it is a concern. Radical Islamism comes from destabilized, failed states, vacuums, weak governance. This is where the ideology thrives, and we must seek it.
So then the next question is, vetting is just the start. What about assimilation here in the United States?
So here, the United States is tremendous. Surveys done by Pew as recently as 2014 show Muslim Americans are more assimilated and more integrated than almost anywhere else in the world. We're more likely to marry someone who's non-Muslim. We see people that are not Muslim as spiritual equals. We don't want even one law founded on a tenet from the Quran to supersede or replace an American law. That's coming from believing Muslims in America. So when you are in the current, that is the energy of America, where most of your friends are not Muslim, where you're very broadly accepted, assimilation is a natural development. Some communities are an exception. I think we need to learn from Minnesota, where 100,000 Somalis migrating war-torn Somalia are settled, and there have been serious concerns about domestic radicalization.
Included as one of the 7 countries.
That's true. Worth saying is I learned about that from Somali parents of American-born children who became radicalized at Congressman King's hearings. So the Somali community itself in Minnesota is asking for measures to help with de-radicalization.
When we began our conversation this morning, you said that, you're not the only Muslim who believes that this extreme vetting is not a bad idea. So why do you think when we watch mainstream media, we're hearing such the opposite? We even had a poll that we showed this morning that said, I think it was 57% of people agree with this extreme vetting.
Well, I think that the reasons are complex. First of all, it is not a Muslim ban. It is a geopolitical ban. We're excluding Pakistan, Indonesia, India, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, huge Muslim populations from this ban.
Yeah, at least 40 other countries.
But I think there is a real attempt, a very serious attempt to racialize all discussion around radical Islam. That is dangerous. Democratic Party wants to portray itself as a mass immigration proponent. Of course, America's built on immigration, but we're also a nation state. President Trump is tightening up the borders. There's no harm in that. That's actually healthy. But I think the politicization of making it a race issue is very, very dangerous, and that's what we're seeing.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and certainly great to hear from you with your personal experiences.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.